I just received a huge package with new production things. And if you think production is your biggest nightmare, wow, the box is so big. And there is no light. So if you think production is your biggest challenge, it's not. But it can be a nightmare. But in this video, I will explain you very great ideas how you can produce your own collection. So jump into the video. And of course, it's super exciting to unwrap this thing. So let's unwrap this thing with me. So let's unwrap this. What is in there? I'm so super excited. I think I know what's in there. Oh, wow. These are the new bestsellers of the season, I can tell you. So we have this gorgeous, and of course they come in bags, and we recycle them actually. We send them back to the production, so less waste is produced. So that's why we are very careful when opening it, so we not hear this. And I didn't see the color, I only saw the little swatch. So wow, this is such a nice best-selling item. So I will hang this and steam it, and then it will go right into the shop. But if you want to have it, be quick. So today I want to talk about production. And producing your own collection is very intimidating for a lot of people, and they struggle, and it's tough to produce a collection. But that said, it's not the most difficult thing. Selling a collection is much more difficult. It requires much more thinking and a lot of things that I've spoken in a lot of videos. But and there will come more videos. But in the end of the day, production is a process that you will have to do when you do your own collection. So I have listed, or I would like to present to you some ways you can produce. First of all, is you can produce, of course, yourself. If you have sewing abilities, you can produce your collection by yourself. That said, I would say this is not the best option. I know some successful designers who started in the beginning and did their first collections. They sewed some garments and so on and so on. But in the end of the day, you have to outsource production. Why is it so not a good idea to produce your collection yourself? There are various reasons. First of all, in most cases, you don't have the best equipment. You're too slow, because in a professional production, they will have much more time efficient producing methods. It will take too much time. So I think producing some garments, can be done, but I would not recommend to do it always, and I would start to build up a production collaboration or whatsoever. So I would not recommend you to produce your own collection all the time. That said, there is an exception, all the things that I am presenting you today I have experience in that, 15 years. So I have done them all. I know the pros and cons and so on. So also now we produce some parts of a collection, like a special or roughing or stuff. I do this in the studio, and then I will give it to finish in the production. So this is also a possibility. Second is, of course, you produce in a manufacturer production, whatever you would call that, and you bring all the components, so all the fabrics, every single buttons, everything what you need for the real garment, and of course the patterns that either you produced or somebody did produce it for you. So they only do really the manufacturing. I had so many manufacturers in my fashion career. yeah, it's always building up a good relation with your manufacturers, and it's tough and they will come and go, so be prepared that suddenly you don't have your main production is out of business for what reason ever. So it's it's tough, but you can, it's the most common thing that you only find somebody who produces your collections. But on the other hand side, there is also a thing, it's called white labeling. Some manufacturers provide certain stock of patterns that you can use and a certain stock of fabric that you can use. And your job as a designer or as a job label is to search for this right fabrics and produce it in their patterns. Normally you can do a lot of adjustments, like they put in your label, that's why it's called white labeling, and you can decide on which top stitchings or embroidery or whatsoever. So there are a lot of possibilities. I know a lot of big companies also produce that way, so it's totally fine to do that. And of course there is this print on demand. I mean, listen, if you think you make one design and print it on a t-shirt, that's great, but that's not a whole collection. But there are print on demand companies where you can print your design on special t-shirts or hoodies or whatsoever. You can then either order it there and sell it, or you give a link to a customer and he orders it there and they will ship it directly to the customers. There are various possibilities, but oftentimes it will be a mixture of all that. So draping or sewing parts of the collection or outsourcing or developing a print in a company and so on. So production, there is only like three main parts if we would sum it up. Produce yourself, which has various cons. In my opinion, give it to somebody whom you provide everything, or have somebody where you can pick. This is the most three common parts. And production is a lot of people think, oh, this is the most important and the most difficult thing to do. It's not. The sales part is the most difficult thing, in my opinion. Production can be a nightmare, it can be a challenge, but you will manage it. And keep in mind, it will cost a lot of money. So you have to make sure that you have the budget for it and that you compare also the productions, what they can do. Some productions are very specialized on knitwear or men's shirts or whatsoever. If you have any more questions on that, I'm here, just drop a message. I'm always happy to give some advices from my long time career. So keep in touch and yeah, see you in the next video.